Hey guys, welcome back. And as you can see, my buddy is not with me. It is just me. My name's Nathan. Scott did have an unfortunate accident after the Super Bowl. He ended up falling and having a big cut on his eye, and it was pretty badly bruised. He did have some stitches and things. So I'm going to just take us through two videos, to one section. So we are in the book, Leading with Emotional Courage, and we are just about to jump in to the next element, which is connecting with others. That is element 2, jumping into part 1, which is being curious and trusting. So chapter 13, 14, and 15, we're going to cover a few things. And the first one is trust. Now, this one talks about the secret of thoroughly excellent companies, basically companies that are going the extra mile. This is the difference in staying at a hotel and they charge you for water. They charge you if you need to stay an extra hour before you check out. And he says, but then I went to the Four Seasons, and when I had checked in, they had already found out things like what my favorite newspaper was. They had found out what kind of coffee I'd liked. And when I do need to check out later than 9 or 10 o'clock, they give that to me because they value my business. How does this translate? This translates into the care because this is going far above and beyond. This is serving on a different level. This means that instead of giving the minimum is when I'm in a relationship, I say hello, I ask them how they're doing, I talk about the weather, I make sure that their family is healthy. That is the minimum. What is going above and beyond means you are taking note of special things. For instance, you know, my wife, she cannot drink coffee at night. Even decaf sometimes will keep her up for some reason, but she will enjoy a nice hot cup of tea after dinner. My kids know that her love language is bringing her coffee first thing in the morning. It is being ready to show that person how much they care about you. And that actually builds trust. Trust is a consistent connection over a period of time. Now, trust is a decision to make, of course, meaning I'm giving you the opportunity to show me that I can trust you. And then the next day you say it again and over again. And it shows what kind of expectations you can have from that person. Is this person really valuing me? Is this person really seeing me? Or is this person just passing me by in the night? And that builds trust. Trust is I can count on that person to act and speak certain ways. And when that is broken, it takes time, it takes energy, it takes above and beyond what we typically want to go to show that person that we are trustworthy again. So trust is a big one, and remember that trust is it's not a secret sauce, but it does make relationships last longer. It makes them more fruitful. It makes them more connective, and it is something that has to be there when it comes to your most important relationships. Next one is staying open. Chapter 14. He had a quote here I wanted to read off. Listening, it turns out, is magic. It communicates not only my curiosity, but also my trust in her and her feelings. It helped me understand what was going on with both of us. Down below in the next paragraph, listening, it turns out, is much harder than speaking. It is a different part of your brain. It definitely feels like it might even be a different brain altogether. I will be honest, I had to learn listening over years and years. I was not a good listener. And at some point in my 20s, I realized that that is a major skill that I just had to work on day in and day out, because speaking is basically just taking what's already in your brain and letting it just flow out. But listening means that you are stopping the commotion in your brain and paying attention to what the other person is saying, to ingest it, let yourself hear it, let yourself interpret it, hopefully correctly, discern what's going on, discern what is being said and what is not being said, and then reflecting back so that the other person can either confirm or adjust what we're hearing. So he does give 3 simple steps, basically. One is actually listen. Now, that to me is always the first. If you are not fully present, you are not listening. There is no way that you could be looking at your phone and listening to someone speak at the same time. That is why phones at the dinner table in our house is a huge no-no. Even for our kids, if they want to watch something on their iPad, the table is sacred. What it also means is there are other thoughts going on. Maybe there are to-do lists in your head, work lists, things that you want to do next after you finish talking that you could be thinking about. That is also not listening fully. That is pausing basically everything around you and saying, this person, what they are saying is the most important thing happening right now. Number 2, repeat back. So this is called active listening. Active listening is you're ingesting what they're saying, taking it all in, just breathing it in, and then repeating back what you are hearing, because often what we are hearing is different than what they're communicating. Often it can be some emotion that they're trying to get across to you, and all you're hearing is, this circumstance turned out badly. What they're really saying could be, I am really hurt, I'm really frustrated, and I'm discouraged, even though they didn't say one single word that that's what they were going through. And what you can say is, I really hear by your tone, I really hear from your facial expressions that this is really hurting you, and I'm sorry about that. And it doesn't take solving, it just takes presence. Next one, ask questions. You could say, I hear this is really hurting you, but tell me why, or tell me which part you felt most discouraged by. Asking questions is assuming that you do not have the answers, assuming that you don't have the great wisdom to solve the problem. Asking questions is showing that the person is more important than the situation. How that person is feeling, how that person is going to get through this process that they're thinking through. That is what is really key. I want to say at the end, it turns out that sometimes just listening is problem solving. People want you to trust and be curious about them. When you are, they feel received and connected to you. What that means is your first opportunity to fix the situation is to be fully present, to be actively listening, and to repeating back, and to draw out what that person is going through, to just connect with them emotionally, to have an empathetic, compassionate heart. And sometimes that is all they need, and automatically they will trust you for it, and they will be grateful to you for it, and you have built a solid relationship. Okay, chapter 15 as well. Stay curious about others. He talks about personality tests, but make sure that when you see the personality test of someone, that you don't only put them in a box, that there is room, there's flexibility for people to have more than just a generality labeled to them. He speaks about Myers-Briggs having only 16 personalities, and some people fit into one, but some people fit into 1 or 2 or even 3, depending on what they're going through in life. So remember, that people are more than just a test result. Now, I also want to say, it says, be curious about people. Curiosity is something that says, just because I've learned their personality test, just because I knew their favorite color 10 years ago, does not mean that something hasn't changed. It means that we expect people to grow. We expect people to change. We expect people to be slightly different than they were 10 years ago, especially if you've gotten married, if the person's gotten married, if they've had kids, if they've changed jobs. People change and grow. They really do. And being curious means that you're learning the person over and over again. You're giving them opportunity to reveal more of who they are now than you knew about them even 6 months ago. It's something that I constantly love to do with my kids, especially children who are developing at rapid rates, fast rates that you want to keep track of, so that way you can keep learning what is their current favorite song, what's their current favorite hobby, what's their current favorite color, current favorite food. It's basic questions, but I'm learning. But some other questions are drawn out of that as well, and saying, what's the thinking right now? You know, are you thinking about the future now? Are you thinking about the past? Curiosity means I am assuming that I don't have all the answers, that there is something to be learned here, and there is something new to be learned. This goes into even people who are different from us, people who have different opinions from us. Don't just assume that the one angle opinion that you have is the complete picture. When I talk to someone who has different beliefs than me, maybe different opinions about society, different opinions about America itself, I don't assume that I have all of the right answers, because I'm just one person, just one perspective, and they have something to add. They have something to bring to the table. And starting out that way goes a long way towards connection. Even if you still disagree, you can still connect to the person. You can trust that they are trying to bring their perspective, that they're trying to bring something that they believe is right. And that is a much better way of having common ground than first saying they have a different opinion, so I need to throw rocks at them. So stay curious about others means that there is a profound depth to every single person out there, including yourself. And you can look at your day as something to behold simply for that reason. All right, we're going to go into the second half of this part one. I know it's a lot to keep track of, but I will see you on the next video as well. And please just be praying for Scott, pray for his health, pray for his face, pray for healing, and I will see you next time. Bye.